Hello everyone, welcome to Real Academy. Myself Vinit Mohite, the faculty for biology, and we'll be talking here regarding one topic called as circulatory system, which we have in our syllabus. What do we exactly mean by this, as well as what is the exact importance, what are the changes which occur into every organism? We'll be looking into this particular topic. So what we know by circulatory system is something which actually moves everywhere, time and time around. So for example, there's something inside my body which is continuously moving, and that's my blood. So blood will be called as circulatory system. It's not just blood which flows inside our body. Along with that blood, there's another liquid too which is flows inside our body. We'll be talking about that liquid. That liquid is called as lymph. Whereas both of these liquids are basically moving with inside your body, and therefore your body is actually provided with everything that it needs. For example, the gas, important gas called as oxygen, food, nutrients, as well as removal of the waste, etc. So that blood actually, once if it is flowing here in my hand, for example, so it will not just flow once in my hand, once in a day, or else once in a week, or else once in a month. It will flow every time within a day. It will flow here. So which means what? It is circulating here basically. It is flowing from the legs till your brain, again going to the legs, again going to the brain, which means what? It is circulating. It is actually forming a circle. Round and round वो हमेशा घूमते रहेगा आपके body के अंदर. That's about your blood. We already know it's a transport system inside a human body. For example, if you're taking in oxygen, as we already know, we are taking oxygen inside our lungs. So if you are taking the oxygen inside our lungs, तो वो lungs से वो सब oxygen आपके पूरे body में फैलने वाला है. वो फैलाने के लिए काम कौन करेगा? आपका ब्लड. सिमिलरली, एज वी ऑलरेडी नो दैट आवर ब्लड कंटेन्स अ रेड कलर्ड पिगमेंट, एंड दैट पिगमेंट इज कॉल्ड एज हीमोग्लोबिन. दिस हीमोग्लोबिन बेसिकली इज अ प्रोटीन, जो प्रोटीन आपके ब्लड को एक कलर देने वाला है, जिसके वजह से योर ब्लड इज एक्चुअली रेड इन कलर. After that, we already know it transports these two gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. The one about we earlier talked in this point, carbon dioxide from your body. Every cell of your body is producing carbon dioxide. All that carbon dioxide will be taken by the blood and will be transported to the lungs. So in this way, transport system occurs just of this gas. Similarly, transport system of nutrients, transport system of waste, thermoregulation, ऐसे बहुत सारे functions है आपके blood के, which we'll be talking about. Let us move forward about types of circulatory system. Before talking about that, let us just move towards this diagram. We can see the two diagrams here. It's the two animals here. Okay, first one a grasshopper, second one, as we already know, it's an earthworm. Now, what is the difference between both of them? If we can talk about this organism, he doesn't have blood vessels. इसके पास blood vessels नहीं है. If I can talk about my hand, now my hand, if you cut my hand, you will see a large number of blood vessels, capillaries and everything which we can see in my hand. But same will not be occurring within this animal. If you cut this animal, there is no such blood vessel. His body is like a bathtub. Inside that tub, like water is filled, inside this body, blood is filled, nothing else. The blood is not moving into those tubes. We have various such tubes on our hand as well as on our legs. Even if you can see that, those green colored tubes which we have on our hand, similarly green colored tubes on our legs too. But such tubes are not present within this grasshopper, and hence he has a circulatory system. Okay, he has blood, but that blood never moves. And therefore, his system is called as open circulatory system. The blood is open. The blood is not closed within tubes like what we have. They don't have their blood closed within their tubes, and henceforth, they will be called as open circulatory system. If we can talk about the earthworm here, you can see the red colored lines on the earthworm, which means what? The blood within the earthworm is flowing into those tubes. Blood is actually flowing into those blood vessels. The tubes are called as blood vessels. Now, let us take an example. What if we hold this organism like this? Okay, if you are taking his leg, for example, and if you are holding this animal like this, the grasshopper, what will happen? The blood which he had is not flowing. The blood is like just a bottle filled with water. Okay, तो उसका सबका सब blood भी सर पे गिरेगा, मतलब उसके head पे. The pressure over his brain will increase. The pressure over his internal organs will increase. What pressure? Blood pressure. And finally, he will die. But if you are holding an earthworm like this, or if you are holding a human like this, अगर हम लोग ने human का पैर पकड़ के human को उल्टा लटकाया, nothing will happen to that human. Why? Because that human has tubes within his body. Those tubes are called as blood vessels, as we can see on our hand too, green colored blood vessels. तो वो blood vessels हमारे body के अंदर है, because of which what is happening is your blood, whenever you are hold like this upside down, your blood will go to the head as your head is downside. So again that blood will flow towards the upward side, again downward side, again upward side, just like what happens normally whenever you are standing upright. So that's how your body has a different system from which the blood is flowing, and that system is a network of blood vessels. As your blood is closed within the blood vessels, therefore your circulatory system is known as closed circulatory system. Likewise, we have two types of circulatory systems in the world. Open, the first one; closed, the second one. As we already know, even mosquitoes, they have an open circulatory system. Mosquitoes don't have a blood vessel. They don't have that blood vessel. Mosquitoes has a white colored blood, as we already know. So in this way, these are the two types of organisms depending on the different types of circulatory system. These organisms have some drawbacks related to the circulatory system, while we don't have such drawbacks just because we have those tubes inside which our blood is flowing. Outside those tubes, blood never goes out. Okay, outside your blood vessels, blood will never go out. Basically, only if you tear your blood vessels sometimes, अगर आपके blood vessel को injury होता है, then only the blood will come out. Otherwise, blood doesn't come out. Instead, if you are facing any injury, for example, if you face a big dash on your hand, or a big dash on the left hand, or anything, what will happen to your body? That big impact on your hand, what it will cause, it can cause rupture of some smaller blood vessels within that part, and that can lead to blood flowing outside the blood vessels only when there is an injury. Otherwise, our blood never goes outside the blood vessels. Here, as there are no such blood vessels, blood will be always outside, therefore known as an open system, open circulatory system, while there it's completely intact, closed circulatory system. After this, we'll be moving towards the next part about the properties of our blood. Firstly, our blood is always in motion. This is because we have a pumping organ inside our body, and that pumping organ is our heart. Next one, our blood has something, as we already said, it's hemoglobin. Right? Because of hemoglobin, our blood is red in color. Our blood has a specific pH, and that pH is around 7.5. Let me know from you what's the pH between 0 to 7 and what's the pH between 7 to 14. What those solutions will be called, and accordingly, what is our blood. Okay, so as we already know, but I would like to know about what is the solution from 0 to 7 and what is the solution called between 7 and 14. Do let me know. After that, average human blood, which is around 5 to 6 liters. That's the average human blood which is present inside our body. इतना liter blood हमारे body के अंदर continuously घूम रहा है, and it changes sometimes even in pregnant lady, as we already know, because a pregnant lady has to handle the baby too, and therefore the total blood will be around 7 liters. Okay, so pregnant lady has large amount of blood as compared to what we have. After that, I'll be talking about the functions of our blood. Firstly, transport of substances. As we already know which are the substances transported, it's nutrition from your intestines to all of the body parts. Similarly, oxygen from lungs to all of the body parts, carbon dioxide from all body parts to the lungs, and as well as urea, the waste, from your body parts to your kidneys. In this way, every transportation is done by your blood. Next one, maintaining the heat level of your body. Your blood is flowing everywhere, and that blood maintains the temperature of your body at 37 degrees Celsius. That's what the temperature we have. The temperature may increase if we have any bacterial infection, viral infection. The temperature can increase from 37 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. No, it's wrong. From 37 degrees Celsius to just 41 degrees Celsius. No more than 41 degrees Celsius. The doctor tells you within the thermometer that your body has a temperature of 104 degrees. Do let me know what is 104 degrees. Okay, do let me know what is 1002 degree, 103 degree. What is that? I would like to hear from you. So that's about the body temperature. Your body temperature will be 37 to 41. Not more than 41, never. But what doctor tells you, I would like to know from you. So in this way, the blood basically maintains your temperature. It can even increase your temperature under the influence of your brain. Your brain tells your body to increase your temperature, and blood will be doing that. Similarly, after that, transport of these two gases, as you already said, lungs are the ones who will be transporting these two gases. After that, transport of waste, as we already know, our waste is urea, which has been transported to the kidneys ताकि kidneys उस waste को body से बाहर निकाल सके. Finally, transport of even hormones. For example, you already know growth hormone. एक हार्मोन जो हमारा ब्रेन बनाता है, ब्रेन के अंदर एक छोटा सा स्ट्रक्चर कॉल्ड एज पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड will be making this hormone called as growth hormone. Now that growth hormone is made here but functions on your bones. Okay, on your bones, leg bones, hand bones. So उन बोन्स के ऊपर वो फंक्शन करने वाला है, तो उन बोन्स तक वो हार्मोन को जाना चाहिए. कौन लेके जाएगा? Your blood will be taking that hormone. Insulin, for example, one hormone which actually controls your blood sugar. Right? So insulin will be actually poured into the blood. Blood will be taking that insulin everywhere, even to the liver, ताकि आपका sugar level कम हो सके. And in this way, you will not have the chances of diabetes. In this way, you have that function of the blood. After that, cells of the blood. Now we all know basically these are the three types of cells which we have. The next type will be learning further. First one of them is RBC, red blood corpuscles, or else red blood cells. These are actually red in color. One of the smallest cells inside the human body contains something called as hemoglobin. Why it is the smallest? Just because we already know that you have your cell, and within that cell there is a brain of your cell. That brain of your cell is called as DNA. Over that DNA there will be a covering called as nucleus. RBCs doesn't have nucleus, RBC doesn't have DNA. If RBC doesn't have anything like that, RBC is one of the smallest cells within your body. Why RBC doesn't have DNA, it's still not known, but we do know that to maximize the amount of hemoglobin within one RBC उसके अंदर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा hemoglobin रहना चाहिए. To accommodate that much amount of hemoglobin, it might be lacking the nucleus. शायद उसके पास nucleus उसके वजह से नहीं रहेगा ताकि hemoglobin ज़्यादा रह सके. After that, next one, WBCs, as we already know, they are the soldiers of our body, right? These soldiers always attack anything which is entering your body. Let me tell you, it's anything. It can be bacteria, it can be virus, it can be fungus, it can be amoeba, it can be even algae, anything. All the microorganisms about which we talk. Even if you are eating rice, and that rice, we all know, contains starch. The rice contains starch. What if we get that rice in an injection, for example, we boil the rice, we take that water of the rice, that water will be containing starch, as we already know, rice is boiled within it. Or else, let's take an example, we boiled potatoes within that particular water, and potatoes को boil करने के बाद वो potato का जो पानी है वहाँ पे, that water will be taken in an injection, and now what I do is I just get that injection into my blood vessel. Okay, I just get that injection into my blood vessel. What will happen to my body? See, it's starch. It is coming from the outside. Okay, it's coming from the outside world. My blood will attack on starch. My blood will readily attack over that. But why do we don't get any such disease, or else why our WBCs don't attack whenever we eat potatoes? We do eat potatoes, we do eat rice. Then why your blood is not attacking? Again, I would like to know about it in the comment section. Okay, so that's how your starch or anything, let me tell you, anything will be attacked by your blood once it is inside your blood vessels. So आपके WBCs हर एक चीज पे attack करते, you don't want anyone. WBCs will not be attacking your organs, will not be attacking any cell of your body. But let me tell you one more thing here. अगर ये आपका cell है, इसके अंदर ये आपका nucleus है, and within that nucleus there is mitochondria, there is ribosome and everything. समझो आपका एक cell burst होता है due to any infection, for example virus infection or anything. All that comes out, right? Your mitochondria, your ribosomes, everything will come out. Even that will be attacked by your blood. Okay? आपके WBC उन सब के ऊपर भी अटैक करेंगे. आपका माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया जो बाहर निकलेगा उसके ऊपर अटैक होने वाला है. आपके जो राइबोसोम्स बाहर निकलेंगे उसके ऊपर अटैक होने वाला है. इसका मतलब आपके WBCs को सेल के अंदर रहने वाली चीजें भी नहीं चाहिए. Even that things will be attacked by the WBCs. WBCs have a amoeboid movement. What do we know by amoeboid movement? You can see with this word. We know that we have an amoeba, right? Over that amoeba, there's a nucleus, eukaryotic organism. If there's one bacteria here, that bacteria amoeba wants to eat, what the amoeba will do is, he will increase its surface like this and will take that bacteria inside. Once that surface is increased and bacteria is taken inside, now what will be done is, this part, okay, that part which has been increased, wo part chala jayega, that part will be removed out. Bacteria is taken inside, done. So which means what, amoeba actually increased its foot, taken the bacteria inside, and again that foot was lost. And therefore that foot is not called as true foot, it's false foot. Pseudopodia. Pseudo means fault, podia means legs. Okay, like we have true legs, we have true hands. If we move them, again we can move them. Okay, we are having it and the true side, but here it's not true. Okay, if we take that part, if it increases that part to take that foot inside, we will again lose that part. Lose that part means it will again take that back inside. It doesn't have that true part. So which means what? That amoeba has a pseudopodia. Okay, amoebas. Same way pseudopodias are even present with WBCs, because WBCs even show such pseudopodia, because of which WBC can move from one place to another, then another. In this way, WBCs will move everywhere, and therefore WBCs show presence of pseudopodia. They even perform something called as diapedesis. Let us know what is diapedesis. If this is your blood vessel, for example, and there's a WBC moving here. If the WBC senses that there is a bacterial infection in your throat, for example, let us say this blood vessel is for your throat. WBC will actually squeeze through this smaller area. जो small area आपके WBC के आपके blood vessel के अंदर रहेगा, उस smaller area से वो लोग आराम से squeeze हो सकते हैं. Once they squeeze outside, they will be present here along with the bacteria. They will be killing the bacteria, as we already said. They are the soldiers, and they will be killing those bacteria. Done. Okay, so which means what, your WBC can squeeze through the smaller spaces. And that squeezing of the WBC so that they can get outside will be called as diapedesis. Okay, WBCs are of many types, but these are the 4 types, or else, yeah, these are the 4 types about which we'll be talking about: neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. These are the 3 types, and next these 2 about which we'll be talking. These 3, basophils, eosinophils and neutrophils, how they got their name. Neutrophils, they actually don't show color whenever they are seen under a microscope. Acid का stain के ऊपर डालो, the stain which is acidic, the stain which is basic, we must be knowing about acids and base, वो stains मतलब colors उनके ऊपर अगर हम डालेंगे, they don't get a color. So which means what? They are neutral. Basophils, whenever you add a basic dye, dye means color, whenever you add a basic dye to this slide and you watch that slide in the microscope, you will be seeing this as colored. Therefore, they are called as basophils. Next one, eosinophils, as we obviously must be knowing, you add acid to it and therefore it gets a color. We can see them through the microscope. Therefore, they are called as eosinophils. All these 3 types are called as granulocytes. What do we mean by granulocytes? If this is one of the granulocyte, okay, with a nucleus here, they have some granules here. These granules are used by them to kill the bacteria. Okay, those granules contain some dangerous chemicals, not dangerous for us but dangerous for the bacteria, because of which the bacteria will be killed. In this way, we have these 3 types. The next 2 types called as monocytes and lymphocytes. Both of these are agranulocytes, which means they will not show something like this. They won't show something like granules. They actually kill any bacteria with the help of antibodies. Okay, so for example, if this is a granulocyte, for example, it will produce one protein on the outside, and that protein produced on the outside will be called as antibody. Currently, this word will be with us for many days, or else for many times, just because currently there is a pandemic called as coronavirus. You need antibodies. So if coronavirus is inside your body, against that virus, your WBC will be making a protein called as antibody. Antibody, once sticks to the coronavirus, helps in the degradation, or else helps in the complete, damaging the coronavirus, and therefore coronavirus can be killed inside your body. So in this way, your coronavirus can be destroyed just because of your WBCs. Why? Because those WBCs are producing antibodies. These 2, monocytes and lymphocytes, have the ability of producing antibodies. They don't need granules, and hence they are called as agranulocytes. They don't need granules. While these 3 here, they are called as granulocytes because they want granules to kill someone. Let it be coronavirus, let it be any bacteria, anything. So they want those granules. Okay, they cannot produce antibodies like this. This is what we know about WBCs. Next one, we can see all the 3 cells. This is your RBC, WBC and platelet, one of the smallest cell. This will be white in color. WBC, already we know it's white in color, red in color due to hemoglobin. Okay, so these are the 3 cells basically which are present inside our blood. There are many types of WBCs, but no such type seen for RBC and platelets. They are of the same type. Okay, next one, we can see all the types of WBCs here, right? Eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils. The meaning of them we did say. Lymphocytes as well as monocytes, इनके बारे में भी हम लोग ने बोला. The 2 which are actually producing antibodies within you. These 3 don't produce antibodies. They just have some smaller granules, and those granules will be used for killing the bacteria, killing the virus, or killing anyone. Okay, they don't have granules they don't have granules for killing anyone. They actually have antibodies for killing anyone. That antibodies will be secreted outside so that you will be protected from any particular disease. If you are being cured of coronavirus, for example, if you are cured of coronavirus, your blood has circulating antibodies, which means what? वो जो antibody, जो protein हम लोग ने last slide में देखा था, that protein will be actually circulating within your blood. If once again coronavirus comes into your body, that circulating antibody will stick to it and will kill it. Simple. So therefore, you don't get another infection of coronavirus. Okay, many people who are cured, they don't get another infection just because antibodies are present within them. Some people do get another infection of coronavirus. The reason is lower immunity, nothing else. Okay, so in this way, basically antibodies, once they are made, they are actually circulating within your body everywhere. So if I produce antibodies for, let's say, against tuberculosis, तो मेरे body में आज वो circulating antibodies रह सकते हैं. We all do produce antibodies against polio virus because we have got a polio vaccine. So which means that we have antibodies against polio virus. If you ever check your blood for polio virus, you will be getting those antibodies. In this way, those antibodies are basically made by these 2 cells. Let us move forward towards the colors of your blood. First one, as we already know, it's the human blood, which is, we know, red in color due to hemoglobin. But you can see these 2 colors of your blood. Why there are such 2 drops? One of the color is the color of your oxygenated blood. Second color is of your deoxygenated blood. दोनों में फर्क क्या है? ये blood में oxygen है and therefore it is brighter. this blood doesn't have oxygen. The next one, the next drop, it doesn't have oxygen, and therefore it is actually dark red in color. If you ever cut here, if you ever get a cut here, this blood will be coming out. If you ever get a cut here in the internal organs or else anywhere, you will be having this type of blood, bright red colored blood. ये blood में oxygen रहता है, therefore this blood is actually required by you because ये blood के अंदर का oxygen आपके सब tissues तक जाना चाहिए. That doesn't mean that this blood will not be required. This blood actually has carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide will be given to the lungs. Lungs will remove that carbon dioxide. So the blood, once they have removed the carbon dioxide, the blood becomes free. That blood will bind to oxygen, which means आपके बॉडी के अंदर एक ही ब्लड है जो दोनों गैसेस के साथ कंबाइन होता है. अगर वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ कंबाइन होगा, इट विल बी ब्राइट रेड. अगर वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड के साथ कंबाइन होने वाला है, इट विल बी डार्क रेड, एज वी कैन सी विद इन दिस इमेज. नेक्स्ट वन, दिस crab here called as horseshoe crab. Okay, the crab is called as horseshoe crab, one of the animals जिसका blood सबसे ज़्यादा costly है, costly in terms of money. Why? Because its blood is used to purify water or is to check the purity of water, check the purity of many other chemicals, many other ingredients. Okay, तो water का purity check करने के लिए हम लोग इसका blood use कर सकते हैं. You can see here the blood is completely blue in color. Blood पूरा का पूरा blue color में है, just because the blood doesn't have hemoglobin, the blood has hemocyanin. Okay, hemoglobin had iron metal inside it, therefore it was red. Hemocyanin doesn't have iron, it has copper within it. Okay, these organisms they have copper within their blood, जिसके वजह से उनका blood blue color का रहता है. Similarly, another example of blood containing hemocyanin is your octopus. They even have a blue colored blood. They are present at the base of the ocean. Ocean bed के पास वो लोग रहते हैं जहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन ऑलरेडी कम है. तो जितना भी ऑक्सीजन बचा है, that all oxygen has to be combined with the blood so that octopus can get the oxygen. And therefore they don't require iron there. Iron cannot combine efficiently with oxygen. Copper can do it efficiently, and therefore they always have copper within their blood, as you can see here, thereby making their blood blue in color. That's the color of the blood within horseshoe crabs. One of the most important organs. What is done with them is we insert a needle, we get their blood. Once we get their blood, we remove the needle and we leave them again into the oceans because they need to be alive. These are actually important just because उनका जो blood है वो actually हमारे लिए scientifically बहुत ज़्यादा important है. उनके blood से हम लोग वाटर का प्योरिटी चेक कर सकते हैं by a test called as LAL test. LAL, लाल टेस्ट. जिस टेस्ट के वजह से हम लोग वाटर का प्योरिटी भी चेक कर सकते हैं with the help of their blood. That blood is actually really important, used for even medicinal purposes. Just like for example, you know the snake's venom. It's actually important because snake के venom से ही आपके पास snake के venom के ऊपर के medicines बनते हैं. Okay, so in this way, even this is actually done by to check the purity of water or to have any other medicinal applications. The blue colored blood, presence of copper. Earlier red colored blood, presence of iron. Next one, as we can see, green colored blood. Okay, we may not see it clearly because our hand is actually, it has a color and therefore the green color may not be seen easily, but you do get green colored blood. Okay, let us talk about it, but firstly we'll be talking about another organism who has actually the green colored blood. You can see that organism here called as Prasinohema. Okay, it's a lizard found in New Zealand जिसके पास actually green color का blood है. हमारे बॉडी में कुछ ऐसा है जिसका कलर ग्रीन है. Let me know about that in the comment section. But this organism has green colored blood, and the reason behind this we still don't know, but we are thinking that might be this area of New Zealand. Okay, Papua New Guinea is a particular rainforest within New Zealand, and that particular rainforest is actually spread with mosquitoes. That mosquitoes can give you malaria. They have a green colored blood जिसके वजह से उनको मलेरिया के चांसेस नहीं है. They are completely resistant to malarial organism. उनके पास मलेरिया का organism बिल्कुल ग्रो नहीं हो सकता. As we already know, malaria is given to you by some organisms called as Plasmodium. Plasmodium cannot live within that green colored blood. I want to know about this green colored blood within the comment section. Do let me know. Right? Similarly, humans do get such a green colored blood. Why? Because of taking some medications. One of the medication is called as diabetes, for example. Diabetes के ऊपर जो medicines रहते हैं आपके पास पहले वाले medicines, not now, but those medicines actually used to give a green colored blood. That green colored blood could have been recovered earlier just because पूरा का पूरा blood आपका green color का नहीं होता है, and therefore that green colored blood can actually occur within your body. It's a dangerous condition within your body. So in this way, we have these four colors. Do we have white colored blood? So yes, cockroaches for example, they have white colored blood. तो white colored blood क्यों है? क्योंकि उनके पास ना iron है, ना copper है, nothing like this even. Okay, so if they don't have anything, that means that their blood will be actually white in color. So actually for summary today, what we talked here was regarding introduction of our circulatory system. We did say something which is coming here, a liquid which is coming here will always come here, and therefore it is circulating basically. I've talked about that. We talked about all the cells of your circulatory system. We talked about the volume of your circulatory system in a human adult around 5 to 6 liters. We did also say about the different colors of blood vessels or else blood as well, depending upon what is the actual metal atom present within you. We have red colored blood, while horseshoe crabs, the important animals, they have a blue colored blood. So thank you for attending this session. Do let me know about this video in the comment section and also on this number if you have any doubts. So thank you for attending this session and all the best. Do like and subscribe.